My God. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the annual meeting of the council. I'm Chris Brown, Councillor Chris Brown. I'm the Deputy Mayor of Tunbridge and Malling. Unfortunately, the Mayor has submitted his apologies for the meeting this evening, so I will be responsible for starting proceedings. I'd like to take this opportunity to send our best wishes to Councillor Hammond, if he's watching on YouTube now. Get well soon, and we look forward to seeing you back here as soon as you're ready. Secondly, I'd like to draw your attention to agenda item 1, which sets out the guidance on how meetings will be conducted, including the ground rules. For the benefit of those who may be observing proceedings on YouTube channel, members and officers will introduce themselves when invited to speak. So we'll move on to item 2, and we are joined this evening by Deputy Lieutenant Louise Bryant, and I'd like to invite her to say a few words, please.
Thank you very much for inviting me this evening. I'm delighted to attend as the Link Deputy Lieutenant for Tunbridge and Malling, representing the Lord Lieutenant. It's been my privilege this year to attend a small number of the many engagements undertaken by the Mayor and Mayoress. They have done a fantastic job, and it's always been a pleasure to attend events with the Mayor and Mayoress, who were brilliant at making everyone feel relaxed. And certainly I found the events more enjoyable because of their presence at them. I'm really sorry that the Mayor can't be here tonight so that I could say thank you in person. But I look forward to working with the Mayor-elect in the coming year, and thank you again for inviting me.
Thank you very much, and thank you for coming this evening. I think this is going to be a council first, where I'm going to be taking the chains off, and then Damon's going to be putting them back on at the same time. But we have rehearsed this, so what could possibly go wrong? So could I have a nomination and a seconder for the new Mayor, please? Councillor Harman, please.
I would like to nominate Councillor Chris Brown as Mayor for the upcoming year, especially as he's done such a sterling job in his deputisation. So I hope everybody will support my nomination.
Before you can back out, I would like to second you, your deputy worship, to be deputy mayor for the coming year. You've done a tremendous job to be mayor for the coming year. Sorry, that is a slip. You've done a tremendous job as deputy, and I think the next 12 months will be really good for the mayoralty, and I look forward to seeing you do that role to the best of your ability.
Thank you very much. Okay, so if there are no other speakers, all those in favour? For myself? Okay. Anybody against? Any abstentions? Okay, I think that's it. Thank you very much for the announcement.
Thank you. So please can I confirm that the council accepts the nomination proposed and confirms that Councillor Christopher Brown is appointed as Mayor for the municipal year 2025-2026.
I, Christopher Brown, having been elected to the office of Mayor of the Tunbridge and Malling Borough Council, declare that I take this office on myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. All right. Well, thank you very much, members. I do appreciate that. I've got a few things to say a little bit later on, but I was just thinking when I first joined local government quite a long time ago in Dartford Borough Council, I was only 21, so a little bit younger than the leader of the council is now. And I remember the first council meeting I went to, I looked at the mayor and the deputy mayor and I thought they look really old. And now I'm sitting in that seat looking just as old. But it really is a privilege, and I very much look forward to working with you all over the next year and getting out and about in the borough and supporting our community, along with the potential deputy mayor in a minute. So thank you, I do appreciate that. So can I have a nomination? Next item is item 3. Can I have a nomination and a seconder for the deputy mayor for 2025-2026? Councillor Harman, please.
Thanks, Your Worship. I would like to nominate our fellow ward member, Kim Tanner, to be deputy mayor for the coming year. And I'm just going to remind everybody that if Kim is elected, it does mean that she can no longer act as a cabinet member and therefore won't be able to deliver the most boring, finance speech ever again. So I just hope that you will all support me.
We live in hope. Leader of the council.
As the person responsible for making Kim cabinet member for finance and delivering that speech, it gives me great pleasure to nominate her to be deputy mayor for the forthcoming year. Kim will be a loss from her cabinet role, but I think there is absolutely no doubt that she will be a brilliant ambassador for the borough. She cares deeply about the place and its people, and the two of you as mayor and deputy, just as you've worked so well for the residents of Kings Hill over the year, I'm sure will do the same for residents across the borough.
Thank you very much. If there are no other, it's Councillor Miss Oakley.
Thank you. I'm very pleased to welcome a lady in the shape of Kim Tanner to the role of mayor or deputy mayor for this borough. Wish her an insightful time getting acquainted with the sterling work of the voluntary sector and the workers in the borough. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Taylor.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. Just to echo everything that's been said so far, I've known Kim a few years now. The last couple of years on cabinet, as the newbie, she more or less took me under her wing, and she's taught me when to be diplomatic and when to stick the boot in. Thank you, Kim.
The note of the speakers, can we have a show of hands, all those in favour? You can vote for yourself, Kim. Thank you. Any against? And any abstentions? Congratulations.
And again, can I please confirm that the council accepts the nomination proposed and confirms that Councillor Tanner is appointed as deputy mayor for the municipal year 2025-26? I know that we just need you to sign the declaration.
I, Kim Bonita Tanner, no laughing, have been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor of the Tunbridge and Malling Borough Council. I declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much and congratulations, Kim. Item 4 then is a vote of thanks to the retiring mayor, and I'd like to go to Councillor Cannon, please. Oh, there you are. Oh, sorry, Councillor Williams.
Councillor Williams.
Councillor Williams.
I'd just like to say a few words about Steve, our ex-mayor now. I know from conversations I've had with Steve, he thoroughly enjoyed this role and assisted by Penny, and he's very sad to see it come to an end, even though his health caused him to stop in the new year. So on behalf of Steve, I'd like to thank the Deputy Mayor, Chris, to say a big thank you for what he's done to back Steve. Just a little update regarding Steve. The issues is his heart, but he's back at home now under medication, but still under supervision at the hospital, and he's been told to have complete rest, and this probably means retiring from the RBLI. And I'm sure we wish him well and a speedy recovery. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Worship. And may I offer my congratulations on your new position as Mayor. I know you'll be a great ambassador for the borough. I'd like to second the vote of thanks to the retiring Mayor, Councillor Steve Hammond. In many ways, he was the ideal incumbent in the last year, given the number of anniversaries connected to the last World War. However, speaking to Steve, I think he was more astonished by the sheer range of other events, the number of voluntary bodies and community organisations within the borough, and I felt he revelled in the part he played in supporting them all. It was such a shame the chance to see out his year was not to be. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other speakers? Leader of the council?
Thank you very much. I've got some words here just reflecting on Steve's year as mayor. But before I do, as Colin referred to, Steve's had a spell in hospital, but he is at home now, albeit under supervision. And one of his instructions from his consultant at the hospital was to avoid stressful situations. So 2 years ago, when we spoke to Steve about the possibility of being deputy mayor and then probably mayor the year after, Steve said, "That's fine, I'd love to do it, but I'm really concerned about how stressful chairing full council would be." So given that, and we all saw Steve's unique way of chairing some of our meetings, and the fact he still doesn't know half of our names, I thought it was best that perhaps he avoided the stressful situation under consultant's advice, which for him was very much chairing full council meetings. But obviously, given Steve's apologies, he has said that he'd like to thank everyone for their generosity and support during his year as mayor, and especially Penny Dyson for being such a wonderful mayoress, Councillor Chris Brown for his support as deputy mayor, and Councillors Bell, Lark, Roud and Davis for attending engagements on his behalf as past mayors. The school debates hosted by Councillors Brown and Lark were a huge success and have received positive feedback from all the local schools who participated. Steve would also like to thank the Scouts and Guides, schools, all the charities and businesses in the borough for their amazing work with their communities, as well as the Tunbridge Lions, Tunbridge Rotary Club and the community choirs. Highlights from a memorable and enjoyable year for Steve include visiting local schools, care homes and the Scouts and Guides in the borough, the D-Day beacon lighting ceremony at the RBLI, Spadeworks 40th anniversary celebration and many more. Steve has raised over £1,000 for his charity, unsurprisingly Royal British Legion Industries, and is especially pleased that we conferred honorary freeman on the organisation at the very end of his mayoral term. And I know how disappointed he was that he couldn't be here for that tonight, but I'm sure he'll be watching on YouTube. Thank you very much, Your Worship.
Thank you very much. Councillor Mrs Oakley.
Thank you. The former mayor, Councillor Steve Hammond, is Tunbridge and Morning's Army Covenant champion and lives and breathes the Royal British Legion Industries. As a former Welsh Guardsman, it is fitting that he should have been mayor over this last year with the VE celebrations, 80 years, the day celebrations taking place. Not only did Steve serve Queen and country, but he also celebrates 10 years service to our borough as a councillor. Congratulations on your mayoral year, Steve, and we wish you a speedy recovery. Thank you.
Councillor Hood.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. And I congratulate you on your new role. You've obviously already served an extended apprenticeship, so we know you're going to do an excellent job. I would also like to echo the words of our leader, Councillor Bolton. I'm sure that's his name. We've come to know him as Councillor Bolton over the last year. I'm genuinely disappointed that Councillor Hammond isn't here as the mayor, because he has been an excellent mayor, and he's brought uncharacteristic humour to these four walls, and he's performed admirably on our behalf, and I'm genuinely wishing him well and a speedy recovery. I know that he will certainly be welcome back to the Tunbridge model railway, where he performed admirably driving the trains, and I know that he took great pleasure in that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Hood. Next on the list is Councillor Hickmott, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I wish Steve a speedy recovery, because he must be very sad not to be here tonight, but it's a very big shame. I can't really add much of what's been said, but what I will add is I found the council meetings quite amusing and very quirky, and really only Steve could have done it that way, and it was very good. So well done.
Thank you very much. Councillor Mrs. Dean.
Thank you, Chairman. Steve became very interested when he visited the Westmoreland Community Choir to hear that they were performing in Rochester Cathedral. And when he found out that the performance was in aid of the Poppy Appeal, he immediately volunteered his own personal sponsorship and attended the concert itself and hugely enjoyed it, I know. He also attended a lot of the local community activities in my division in particular, and visited a number of the schools. And he wishes to be remembered as the only mayor who got disqualified for cheating at egg and spoon race.
I would have liked to have seen that. Okay, so we've got no other speakers then. I'd just like to announce that the past mayor's badge will be presented to Councillor Hammond at the earliest opportunity when he's back with us. So we'll move on to item 5, which are apologies for absence, please.
Your Worship, Councillor Athwell, Councillor Hammond and Councillor Thornywell have all given their apology.
Thank you. Anybody else? Item number 6, declarations of interest. Do we have any members that want to declare anything? No. Item 7 are the minutes. So can I ask the council if they can confirm that the minutes of the meeting held on the 8th of April 2025, attached as pages 11 to 18, are a correct record? We agree with that? Thank you. Do I need to sign those? I know. We'll do it later. Okay, fine. Right. Okay. Item 8 then. On Mayor's announcements. So I'd like to thank all of you for the opportunity to represent the Borough Council as Mayor, and I'm pleased to announce that my nominated charities for the forthcoming year will be the British Heart Foundation and Hospice in the Weald, which is quite dear to us at the moment because a couple of our friends have stayed there recently. So that's a charity we'd like to support. Deputy Mayor has already been on to me about organising events to raise some money for charity over the next few months. So we're working on that. So we hope to have maybe a garden party later in the year and a quiz night perhaps in the autumn to raise money for those two charities. I hadn't realised when I took on this role that I'd be quite as busy as I have been. Obviously Steve hasn't been well, so I've sort of backfilled for him, but it really is quite remarkable the amount of events that go on in the borough week in, week out. And I've been down to Tunbridge quite a few times, over to East Malling and West Malling a few times, Snodland and Kings Hill and Aylesford. So there's an awful lot of things going on. It's great to get out there and meet the community and the interesting people that organise events and make this borough a really remarkable place to live. So it's been a great honour so far, and I'm very much looking forward to the next year. Just one other thing was, just having chaired the council about 3 times so far, I think one of the meetings lasted all of 5 minutes and the other one lasted about 5 hours. So I'm kind of hoping that that was an anomaly, but it's up to you members if you want to be here at 12 o'clock again. So onwards to item number 9, which is the election of a new member for Snodland East and Ham Hill Ward. So the report of the returning officer announces the result of the by-election held on the Thursday, the 1st of May 2025, and details are set out in 5.1, page 3 of the supplementary report that's on the table. The Conservative Party candidate, Councillor Luke Chapman, gained the most votes and was elected to serve as a Borough Councillor for Snodland East and Ham Hill Ward. So can I welcome you to the Borough Council for your first meeting, Luke? If you want to say a few words.
Thank you, Your Worshipful. Good evening, councillors. I want to pay my respects to Councillor Wayne Mallard. He will always be missed in Snodland. This campaign has been life-changing on both a political and personal level. Just 1 week into the campaign, my partner and I welcomed our baby son into the world, a moment of pure joy that gave me even more determination to fight for the future of our community. I would like to thank my partner who allowed me to nip out here and then when our son slept. Yes, whilst most candidates worry about policy papers, I was changing nappies. If anything, becoming a father during this campaign only strengthened my resolve to build a better Snodland for all our children. I'm delighted to be joining my wonderful ward colleague, Councillor Sue Bells, whose experience and guidance will be invaluable as we work together for the people of Snodland East and Ham Hill. With victory comes a clear mandate to tackle the antisocial behaviour that has troubled our town, to stand firm against development that threatens our community's character, and to maintain the financial discipline that the council has established. These aren't just campaign promises to be forgotten. They're commitments I made to the residents of Snodland East and Ham Hill. Thank you, Snodland East and Ham Hill. Thank you for your trust and your support.
And thank you very much and welcome to the council. So moving on to item 10, which are the political balance arrangements. We have a report from the Chief Executive setting out the political balance arrangements for the Borough Council's committees, boards and panels. And this is available as a supplementary paper which has been put on the table. And the council are asked to approve the political balance set out in Annex A, page 11 of the supplementary pack. So I'm happy to propose from the chair. If you have a seconder, the leader of the council, thank you very much. And are we happy to agree that? Agreed, thank you. Moving on to item 11, which is the appointment of the cabinet. So can I invite the leader of the council to detail that, please?
Thank you, Your Worship. With your permission, can I cover items 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16 all together? Obviously, with the elevation of Councillor Tanner to the mayoralty, as was referenced earlier by Councillor Harman, she has vacated a position on cabinet. Given the forthcoming retirement of our Director of Finance and Transformation, we're obviously going through a period of time in which it's important to provide stability in the finance function. So I've asked Martin Coffin to resume the role of cabinet member responsible for finance as someone who's done it for many years before and has great expertise in that area. There are some slight tweaks to portfolios that are set out at page 3 of the annex. I won't go through them in detail, but one thing I would like to do is to congratulate Councillor Mehmet, who will be taking up a new cabinet position as cabinet member for infrastructure and Tunbridge regeneration. This will be focused around our regeneration of Tunbridge, especially the east of the High Street work that we've got coming forward, and that is a significant project of this council. And I think it's important that we have a cabinet member who has got very much got the expertise to deliver on that. You will see from agenda items 12 in terms of nominations to committees and that there are some minor changes there. You'll notice from the appointments of chairs and vice chairs that there are some changes, but a number of chairs and vice chairs remain in post. And I'd like to thank everyone who has continued to do the roles that they have will continue to do, and also those who are new in post. I look forward to their committee's work getting underway. In relation to item 15, the appointment to outside bodies, thank you to all members who serve on outside bodies. It's quite a commitment at times, and obviously we now have a structure in place for these to be reported back to the relevant committees throughout the year. And agenda item 16 is the appointments of substitute members, which should be self-explanatory. Thank you, Worship.
I'd just like to second the whole of that lot.
Excellent. I think this might be a 5-minute meeting rather than a 5-hour one. Who have we got? Yes, go ahead, sir.
I just wanted to ask a technical question for clarification. Where we have 2 vice chairs in agenda item 14, are we saying that the first name is the vice chair and the second name is the second vice chair?
The short answer to that is no. If the chair is unable to attend, then usually what happens, and I'm happy to be corrected by officers on this, is the 2 vice chairs will decide between them who chairs the meeting. So there is no seniority from one vice chair to another.
Okay.
Not what I understood when I flipped through the Constitution before, but I mean, as a practical matter, I have no problem with it.
Well, we think we are, but we're quite happy to follow up after the meeting if you want a bit of clarification. See Adrian afterwards. Okay, so that's been proposed by the Leader of the Council, seconded by Councillor Coffin, and we have Councillor Hood, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to congratulate Councillor Tanner and Councillor Mehmet on their elevation to their new roles. The Cabinet now has a distinctly unisex complexion. So I'd just like to, there's a huge redistribution of roles within the Cabinet members too. So as this topic has been in the public eye recently, which Cabinet member is now responsible for diversity, inclusion and equality?
Councillor Kears. I should say that detailed cabinet portfolios will be published in the coming days via a decision notice.
Okay, thank you very much. Any more speakers? In which case, can we agree that recommendation? Good. Okay, thank you. So I think we're going to have to do this one at a time. So we're going to go to item 12 then. So that's going to be proposed by the Leader of the Council and seconded by Councillor Coffin. Can we agree the recommendation? Item 13, again proposed by Leader of the Council, seconded by Councillor Coffin. Agree that, please. Item 14, proposed by the Leader of the Council, seconded by Councillor Coffin. We are almost there. Item 15, proposed by the Leader of the Council, seconded by Councillor Coffin. Agreed. And item 16, again, proposed by the Leader of the Council and seconded by Councillor Coffin. Can we agree that, please? Excellent. Item 17, then, is the scheme of delegation, and I'd like to invite members to confirm the scheme of delegations as circulated in advance of the meeting. That's on page 47. I'm happy to propose that. I'm looking for a seconder. Leader of the Council. Any speakers? Can we agree that, please? Agreed. Good. Item 18 is the programme of meetings for 2025 to 2027, and the Council's asked to adopt a programme of meetings as set out in the report of the Director of Central Services on pages 49 to 56. Do we have any comments or any questions on that, please? Nope. Okay, so if the Council are happy with the programme of meetings, do I need to propose this one, or can we take it? Who needs to propose? Looking for a proposer. Yep, Leader of the Council, second that. As a Coffin, can we agree that, please? And item 19 is the Tunbridge Town Council Community Governance Review. So there's a report from the Chief Executive seeking approval of the terms of reference, timetable, and a consultation plan for the Community Governance Review to create a town council for Tunbridge. Do we have any comments? Leader of the Council?
Simply, the recommendations have been discussed by the member working group. You'll notice on page 57 at 3.1 and 3.2, there are two recommendations. The main one is to establish a budget for this work, which is proposed to be at £12,000, and I trust the council can agree that. I should just say, though, that £12,000 is not a target, it is a maximum. Otherwise, I'm sure Councillor Tanner, even though she's vacated her role, will make it quite clear that we shouldn't spend it all.
Any other comments? Okay, so I'm happy to propose that, and someone second that? Councillor Coffin, and can we agree that, please? Agreed. So item 20 is the recruitment of a head of finance and a section 151 officer. There's a report from the Chief Executive setting out the arrangements for the permanent appointment of a head of finance and section 151 officer, and it seeks the agreement of the appointment of a member panel. So Councillor Thorne, please.
Thank you very much. Following the Director of Finance and Transformation giving notice of her retirement, it is incumbent upon this council to appoint a replacement. Being the Section 151 officer, this is a member appointment. So knowing the dates of Sharon's retirement, it's important that we make a decision on the full council meeting of the 9th of July as to who the new head of finance will be. General Purposes Committee last night agreed to establish the post. All this council needs to do is agree the recruitment budget. Again, it's not a target, it's a maximum, and also to agree which members will conduct the interview. I'd like to propose that that I conduct the interviews in liaison with Councillor Oakley as leader of the opposition and Councillor Coffin as deputy leader and also now cabinet member for finance. Thank you.
And do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Oakley?
Yes, I'll second that. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, can we agree the recommendation? Good. Item 21 then is the Audit Committee annual report, and there's a recommendation under AU 25/15 of the Audit Committee held on the 14th of April 2025. It's set out on page 77 of the agenda pack, and I'd like to ask Councillor Cannon, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Your Worship. No, I'd just like to move the recommendation, AU 25/15, referred from the Audit Committee on the 14th of April 25. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody could second that? Councillor Harman, thank you. And can we agree that, please? Excellent. 22 questions from members. In accordance with CPR 5.5 of the Constitution, the question has been submitted in respect of a planning enforcement at Ducks Farm, and this is set out on the agenda at page 89. However, I will invite Councillor Lark to ask his question and then ask the Cabinet Member for planning to respond. Councillor Lark, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, the question that I put was in the annex, which you should all have a copy of, and I used Ducks Farm as the most specific example that I find, but it is actually a more general question. And Councillor Mike Taylor, as the Cabinet Member for Planning, has provided an answer, which I'm very grateful for. Thank you, Mike. However, there's always a however. I've got to read this question. Right, I'm going to read it. The following question has been asked pursuant to Council Procedure Rule 5.5. Residents in Plaxtell have been raising concerns with alleged planning enforcement breaches at Ducks Farm for many months, prior to the submission of further planning applications on this site. Tunbridge and Morning Borough Council has failed to serve a temporary stop notice on the basis planning enforcement officers did not consider it fair and reasonable to do so. Please can the Cabinet Member for Planning liaise with planning enforcement officers, provide information dealing at what further breaches need to happen for this authority to consider issuing a temporary stop notice on the site. On the 10th of February
2025, the Director of Planning, Housing and Environmental Health indicated in an email to the leader of the council that a meeting was being requested with the developer. Please can the Cabinet Member for Planning also report back to full council on the outcome of that? That was my question.
Thank you. Councillor Taylor.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm very grateful to Councillor Lark for raising this question. Ongoing delays in enforcement are something that has concerned me for some time. The test applied to planning enforcement action is one of expediency, which is laid out in the Council's Planning Enforcement Plan and government guidance. In this case, given that national guidance states that in almost all cases, enforcement action should be held in abeyance pending the determination of applications relating to the potential breaches on a site. Officers advised councillors that they would not recommend formal action at this stage. The site remains under regular review and all correspondence from local residents is reviewed as quickly as possible. The Director of Planning, Housing, Health and the Head of Planning have met with the developer to convey concerns about the approach being taken with this site and to encourage them to deliver their scheme in a considerate manner. That's sarcasm. It is a source of significant frustration that the legislation governing planning enforcement does not make it straightforward for the council to take more action, and the risks involved in doing so are potentially financially and legally significant. Recognising the frustration in the community, not only neighbouring Ducks Farm, but near a number of development sites in the borough, I'm in close liaison with senior officers regarding enforcement action and will continue to be so. I'm pleased to be able to confirm to members that both the vacant planning enforcement posts have now been appointed to, with start dates in the near future. While this does not change the legal framework the council has to work within, I'm confident this will ensure we are able to expedite cases where formal action is possible and recommended under our planning enforcement plan. I will continue to work closely with the officer team to ensure the important area of work remains a priority. We spend a lot of resource drafting conditions to go with approvals and then just seem to let developers do what they want. I'm not worried about conditions like materials, utilities and parking, but we need to find ways to ensure that public health conditions like contamination remediation and asbestos removal are carried out correctly and safely. I'll be continuing to talk to officers to find ways within the legal framework to ensure future planning approvals are kept on track with robust enforcement action. Thank you, Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Taylor. Anything else? Any supplementary questions, James?
Yes, please. Thank you, Your Worship. Just a quick say, once again, thank you to Mike for providing that extensive answer. I think Ducks Farm is a specific, but in more general terms, there are many members here who have difficulties with enforcement, which seems to drag on for years and years. Now, the councillors are facing the public, our residents who we represent, and they really don't understand why we're not doing more. I appreciate there are legal and cost implications, but I've been described as being toothless and for not being more robust in the enforcement actions. Now, we do have to be seen to make a stand and enforce, even if there is a risk of financial exposure, because there will be a time when it's something so catastrophic. I mean, large-scale asbestos removal is a pretty dodgy area. And developers are very hard-nosed and will push everything to the limits and beyond. And I don't want Tunbridge and Morling Borough Council just to be seen as a soft touch. If we do make the point, the message will soon get around that we are tough and we mean what we say. I'm very pleased that there are a new officer starts, and I believe that's tomorrow. And let's hope that we can clear the backlog. But it is just frustrating. What we need is much better communication with every enforcement visit so that we can pass that on to our residents so that they're kept in the loop. Because at the moment they're in the dark and all they do is just get angrier, angrier and angrier. Thank you.
Thank you, both of you, for those questions and answers. Go ahead, Mike.
Thank you very much, Your Worship, Councillor Lark. you're right. Communication isn't legally prevented. And I think we should be much better communicating with residents in these sort of cases. One thing the leader and I found out in the last couple of weeks that we never knew before was that once a site has its main approval, if they then commence work on reserved matters before they've even lodged a planning application or been approved, and we take enforcement action then to stop them, when they eventually get their approval, they can charge us cost back to the day of the planning application. Now, it then becomes a judgment call. Do we risk that amount of finance, just like an appeal? Do we risk refusing an application and risking appeal? It's a judgment call on financial grounds. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, members, for that. Moving on to item 23, do we have any questions from the public?
Your Worship, we have no questions from the public on this occasion.
And finally, item 24 then. So can I ask the council to authorise the common seal of the council to be affixed to any contract minute, notice or other document requirement the same? Can we agree that? So, members, just after 8:10. Thank you very much. And we close the meeting. Thank you. Good night.
And members, please be upstanding for the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor.